Greetings, fellow Helldivers. The SES Distributor of Freedom, operated by the good Sir Knights. Today we are doing a Warbond Ranking. Since they are popular, I've got a significant amount of time sunk into this game, and I've had a chance to sort of like test out all the weapons, kind of formulate opinions and everything. So I put together a tier list, because, you know, if you're starting new, and you're new to Helldivers, and you kind of got feeling out, okay, well, I finally got 1,000 super credits together. There's a bunch of Warbonds. Which one should I buy first? And everything. How should I navigate this conundrum, this quagmire, this dilemma? So I put it all together. We're gonna go through it, both the list and the game. I'm gonna pretty much show you. So I'm gonna show you the list right off the bat. Bottom line up front. This is the list I've come to after extensive testing and planning and all that stuff. I'm going to kind of explain to you how we came to this conclusion. We're going to be going through all of the Warbonds and kind of picking through them. There are pros and cons. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with this list, and that's fine. People are wrong en masse every day, so let's get to it. So first off, going to our requisition page here. Scroll down. The first Warbond to come out was Helldivers Mobilize. So we're going to go through this. So the key thing with this is when you start the game, this is your free Warbond. It's 10 pages, so when you're in between Warbonds and doing other stuff, you can, still sink medals into this, so you're not just like sitting on them and not feeling like you're making any progress. So right off the bat, page 1, you got 100 super credits, dirt cheap, so that's going to get you already on the way. I think every page has a chunk of super credits. They do start to diminish. You start getting 50... super credits after page 5, so you get your first free 500, then you start getting 50. So right off the bat, you're gonna, you get a frag grenade. You can get that really quick. You can get a new infiltrator armor, which will give you different perks. This is gonna be the markers. This isn't gonna really make a lot of sense to new players, but you can, when you ping around, you'll get basically a little sensor to tell you what enemies are in that location. It also makes you hard to detect compared to your stock armor, which gives you a bleed out resistance, gives you a 50% chance to not die from fatal damage, which is pretty nice. So right off the bat, you get the Punisher, one of the harder hitting shotguns right off the bat. So you do get good starter gear. This is a pretty solid shotgun. I like this whole series. They all lost stagger, a lot of damage, pretty nice. Then you got your Marksman. That's gonna be your first heavy armor. You got your Redeemer, which is going to be your first upgrade. Some people call it a side grade. I call it a straight upgrade over the freaking starter P2 Peacekeeper. It's got an optic instead of just iron sights. 31 rounds. Higher rate of fire. A little bit more damage. Very controllable. You'll probably most likely replace it with a different gun. Every now and then you just want a full auto sidearm to make up for like a sniper rifle or something. It's a pretty solid choice. Speaking of snipers, you get your Diligence. Light armor pen marksman rifle, and it's solid. It's 25 capacity, pretty high, and it'll do all your light pen if you know where to hit the enemy. Now, never discredit light pen. A lot of people just medium minimum for everything, but being able to dispatch softer targets or hit the heavier armored targets in their soft spot is peak. It takes a good minute to kind of get like used to how aiming and stuff works in the game against your stamina, chasing a little circle around. But once you get it down, light penetration just becomes like the best. It's pretty fantastic until you have to shoot something that doesn't take damage from light pen. You got your first booster, helps on space optimization, arguably the best one, and that's only on page 3. More super credits. You got the SMG 37 Defender, which doesn't do as much as the Liberator. The damage is pretty similar. Actually, it's really close to the Liberator. I think it's got like more damage fall off, but it's one of your first one-handed weapons. So in the future missions, when you got to carry the downed aircraft sensitive classified data and all that stuff, this is going to be a really good. It's open bolt. No wonder it's less accurate. It's fine from an open bolt instead of a closed one, but it's pretty solid. It's got this big old chunky side magazine for some reason. Flashlight. Solid. Decent little first starter SMG. Get your first set of orange armor that people wear when they're new because it's not black and yellow, and then they never wear it again. What's it even do? More reduced recoil, more throwables. That's actually pretty solid. That's that engineering kit is put on a lot of different armors. You got your breaker, the full auto shotgun, less stagger, throws out more damage faster. Vitality enhancement, one of the top 4. Impact grenades, a pretty solid upgrade because now you don't have to cook the grenades or time them. It explodes when it hits. The scythe, pretty solid laser weapon. Takes some getting used to. You also got this Hero of the Federation armor. That's pretty sick. Look at that. That's pretty dapper. Comes with a helmet. Got your Battle Master. That is the heavy armor that you see on display. Liberator Penetrator, one of your first medium armor pen weapons. UAV Booster, no one uses that. The Adidas freaking stripes, because you're cool. The Diligence Counter Sniper, your medium penetration starter marksman rifle. Stamina Enhancement, one of your top 4. You pretty much got them all at that point. The Slugger, the Punisher, but now with slugs. Smoke grenades, you'll never use these, don't worry. The funky Star Wars mercenary helmet. Breaker Spray and Pray, a lot of fodder clearing rounds, particularly good for bugs, I'd say. So I've never really tested on vote list now that I think about it. And yeah, you got one of the coolest helmets in my opinion, Champion of the People. Little medals on your chest. The Scorcher. I do not like plasma weapons in this game. I love the plasma rifle in classic Doom and Doom 2. I cannot, despite my best efforts, I tried to make this work earlier today, and I wasn't having it. So this, it looks so cool. It's plasma. Plasma's just freaking cool. And it does some damage, but you just burn through the ammo so quick. You only get 5 mags, 20 shots, and the explosions aren't that big. And you can't blow up canisters, you can't blow up bug holes. So, when it comes to Helldivers Mobilize, it's pretty low on the B. I want to emphasize, none of these Warbonds are inherently bad. They all have at least one really cool thing in them. Some have many more. Some of them are just freaking firing on all cylinders in every page, and that's fine. So it's free, and it's pretty much what you're going to be sinking your medals into when you already have a Warbond and you spend all the medals on there and you're waiting for more super credits. You could still get more super credits out of this between missions. Somewhere to dump your points into, which is fine. Now, with that in mind, moving on to the second Warbond that came out, Steeled Veterans, the first Warbond most people paid for, myself included. Steeled Veterans comes with the Senator, one of the few heavy armor penetrating guns for a sidearm. The other one being like the Crisper, but the Crisper is a flame weapon, so you're not going to get those shots. If you have gotten the accuracy down and you know how to like really drop rounds, 2 of these into the visor of a Hulk will bring it down. 200 damage, which is the same as the Talon. We'll be talking about that momentarily, but the Talon's medium pen and an energy weapon. Shoots a lot faster, not as challenging to reload. Senator based on the freaking Mateba 2006 Italian revolver, so the barrel's on the bottom. Pretty cool. Sexy gun. Big iron, as referred to by many. One of the best sidearms you can get. As a Steel Trooper, the passive for this is you can throw farther. It takes some getting used to, because you're used to throwing a beacon 50 meters, and now you're throwing it closer to like 70. So it takes some getting used to. But you can get your 500 kilogram bombs farther out there more effectively. Incendiary grenades, they have a impact version. I've tested them. They both have the same blast radius, so there's really no point in using these ever. Breaker Incendiary, a lot of people love this. I think the Cookout's better because the Cookout has stagger. This will set all of the bugs on fire really quick. The Cookout will set all the bugs on fire, not as quick, but it will push stalkers and other stuff off of you that would be murder in your face otherwise. And of course the Jar 15 Dominator, the big chunky 275 damage, not bolt action. This thing fires off boom 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 semi-auto, very punchy, and a wooden mahogany grip. Actually, I think that's rosewood, but you get the idea. Wooden grip. Even though it's got the A2 like molded injection freaking stuff going on. I don't like this stock. You see this stock on a lot of guns. It's just very funky, industrial looking. Yeah, Jar 15 dominates. Medium pen. Firing like jet-propelled rounds. Pretty cool. So, for Steeled Veterans, it's pretty high on the B. The Senator really carries the Warbond, in my opinion. By a lot. You can get a lot done with the Senator. You're shooting down ships, airships, the freaking gunships for the bots. You can shoot down pretty much everything. You shoot down the stingrays for the squids. You can shoot down the freaking whatchamacallem. I haven't seen them. The Shriekers on the bug side, but you can do that with pretty much any gun. Lasers are generally best at it. So it gets a high B. High B. Next up, Cutting Edge. Cutting Edge was the third Warbond. You get the Sickle. Sickle's pretty cool. It's a assault rifle, but with lasers. You got the big old heat sink. Burns out pretty quick. Localized Confusion. No one really knows what it does. No one's been able to prove if it's actually effective. The armor, however, gives you 95% arc damage resistance. This is almost instrumentally crucial for fighting the squids, and if I wasn't so lazy, I would actually switch to it when I go to fight the squids. This will actually take all those zaps and stuff that would kill and freaking bug swatter Helldivers left and right. It'll take that damage and you'll take barely any, which is good because they updated the zappers, the freaking what do they call them, the lightning spires or whatever. And you used to be able to crawl around them just fine. Now they'll actually zap you while you're prone. So having that electrical conduit, if you can't blow them up, will keep you alive. And I've also heard, but haven't been able to prove, it also applies to plasma damage. So like the Stingray is less likely to kill you if you're wearing that armor. Of course, you got the heavy version, the 16. Looks very, very... Oh, that's not even heavy. That's medium. It looks heavy. Look at those pauldrons, brother. Sexy looking armor. Gotta give it that. Same passive. Punisher Plasma. I tried using it. It's got a big arc to it. Kind of grenade-ish. It's fine. Stun grenades. They can make lining up those Mateba shots. Not the Mateba. The friggin' Senator shots a lot easier. Pretty cool. Stun grenades are pretty nice. The Dagger. Great for clearing mines and Shriekers. And the Blitzer will stun anything and everything on every front. For the most part. I don't think it'll stun Hulks, but... It'll do a bit of damage. It's a very like small arc thrower, pump activated, and it'll do some work, but it's definitely more on the stun side. Like it'll kill things eventually, but you want to like stun stuff so your team can get the shots in better and more accurately. The Prototype X, that's the light armor. Not as cool looking as the other green one, but it is green, and green is my favorite color, so that's why it matters. It's also skin tight in the booty. I don't know about that. It's a bit much. Very old school SWAT inspired. But yeah, cool armor. Cool armor. And with that, it is in last place is the C. Like I said, the armor is really good, but that's about it for me. The armor and stun grenades. Unfortunately, I can't make it any higher. The plasma weapon makes me upset. I was trying to use it. I couldn't hit anything in the air, and anything I could hit, I didn't do enough damage to, so it just, low C. Low C. Going back, the next one, Democratic Detonation. The second Warbond I bought, and for good reason. This is one of the best Warbonds you could ever imagine. Also, mind you, every Warbond comes with like 3 sets of super credits. You can actually spin it. And now I'm not saying I'm a big fan of super credits, but I am a big fan of super credits. So with that in mind, what does Democratic Detonation get you? Well, first off, thermites. One of the single best grenades in the game. These will blow up anything. If you stick one to a charger, it's done. Stick one to a impaler, it's done. Stick one to a heavy charger right on the head, done. Bile Titans, maybe 2, unless you get really lucky, but Bile Titans, done. The armor, the Groundbreaker, medium armor, reduced recoil, 30%, engineering kit, and 2 more throwables. Those throwables really add up because you would otherwise get 3 thermites. Now you have 5. You're ready to take out a lot. On the second page, you got the light armor version. You got the Eruptor, arguably one of the best primaries in the game. It's gone through a bit of ups and downs over the years, but eventually they made the ergonomics significantly better. They beefed it up from medium pen to heavy pen so people would actually pick it over the crossbow. gave it more shrapnel, and they stopped having the shrapnel initially would just blow back towards you. Actually, first it would all go in one direction, and you can kill impalers in one shot. Then they made it only blast backwards, which had a greater tendency to kill you than the enemy, and now it shrapnels out in a 360 again. It's pretty solid. Downside being the bolt action, but the reload speed has been buffed as well, so this gun got a lot of love, and it is now objectively the best gun in the game. Of course, you're gonna struggle a bit with things closer to you and everything. It is democratic detonation; things explode, so bear that in mind. But if you got decent support, you will absolutely destroy anything and everything in the game. Factory Striders, of course, a bit rougher, but you can do it. It's insane. Last page, you got the boxer emote, victory emote, my favorite, because I actually do boxing. Grenade pistol, a solid sidearm if you're going to be running things outside of like your normal grenades. If you're going to be running throwing knives because you like meme builds. If you're running stun grenades or gas grenades or something else that isn't as good at blowing doors open or sealing bug holes, this is your guy. And of course, the explosive crossbow. This was my main for many, many, many months, many levels. It will get you through anything and everything. It doesn't have shrapnel. It's got a decent explosion. It's one-handed, so you can run it around with your packages and stuff, ballistic shields. And yeah, it's just a wonderful, fantastic, like it's not really a gun as much as a crossbow. Good Sir Knight crossbow, medieval weapons. I'm a fan. Lots of explosive damage. The bolts can really mess stuff up. They'll blow open doors. You can seal bug holes. You get a bunch of bolts for it. Peak. I know the Eruptor is better, but I love my crossbow. Don't get me wrong. And as such, it's easily S tier, first place. Hands down, no questions asked. You can't beat democratic detonation. As soon as you get your first 1,000 super credits, I'd buy democratic detonation. Then maybe steeled veterans, but we got a list for a reason. I'm here to help you guys out, help you make those hard decisions. Alright, so democratic detonation. Next up, Polar Patriots. Now, Polar Patriots, the armor, servo assisted, again, like steeled veterans. So if you want a nice cool white and orange armor scheme with a funky looking helmet, well, it's supposed to be snow, but it's technically like urban, but you get the tenderizer. This is the Halo battle rifle in everything but name and actuality. You can set it to burst mode. You can beef up the rate of fire so it's the same as the battle rifle, and you can like that. You can put it in full auto and empty the magazine in like 2 seconds. Light armor pen, 35 capacity, a little bit lower, not too bad. 105 damage. It hits pretty hard. And you get the insane rate of fire, very FAMAS based. But yeah, 35 rounds, 3-round burst, not divisible by 3. The French! But yeah, it's literally just the Halo battle rifle. And if you love that gun, you'll love this gun. This is going to be the... I mean, it's the Xbox players coming in next. If they want their Master Chief rifles and stuff, they're probably going to buy this one first, let's be honest. Motivational shocks doesn't really do nothing. I haven't been able to get it to work. Pummeler submachine gun fires staggering rounds. It does I guess it's a little bit less damage. 45 capacity, slower rate of fire, more for stun and stuff, so you can line up the big shots. Kodiak armor, heavy, urban sort of design. Incendiary impact grenades. If you need to set something on fire quick, fast, and in a hurry, this is your option. Make sure it just doesn't include you. And then, of course, you have the Purifier. Out of all the plasma weapons that I despise this one the least. I could actually get it to 2-shot overseers. Larger, charged up Mega Man explosion is good for clearing out hordes. And other than that, there wasn't too much to say negative about it. It just didn't do as much as I want. And if you're a Desert Eagle fan, you got the Verdict, which is literally just the Space Desert Eagle. Very shiny, 10 rounds, so I'd say solid upgrade. 125 damage. Bit less than the Talon and the Senator, but you get more ammo, you can shoot faster, and most importantly, magazine fed, which means it reloads very quickly by comparison. So with that in mind, Polar Patriots, it's in B, right behind Steel Veterans. Pretty solid. I actually kind of like it. Like I said, there's no bad one, so this is pretty good. I like this one. These two are really good. I know I got them in B tier, but I could put them in A. You know they are. You know what? You know what? You know what? I think they do belong in A. The Senator alone is pretty solid. Polar Patriots, Tenderizer, Verdict, pretty good. I'm gonna move them to A tier actually. I wasn't planning on it, but you twisted my arm. You twisted my arm. They're actually really good. I kind of felt bad having them in B that whole time. So, moving on. Next up, my personal favorite, but far from the best, because I can kind of see my own biases. The Viper Commando Warbond. Right off the bat, peak physique. As anyone and everyone who enjoys working out or at least looking good, you're gonna love this armor. 100% more melee damage. It's not a melee game. I do a lot of melee because I really like Dark Souls. You can make it work if you're insane. So, yeah, peak physique, more damage, and less drag. The drag part is really the reason you're going to be running this armor. Because with bigger guns like the Eruptor and the Flamethrower heavy machine gun, usually you're looking over here, and then the gun drags over. You see that circle chasing your reticule. But with peak physique, you see Stalker. Psh, Stalker appears. Stalker winds up to murder you. Without peak physique, you look over, you oh no, Stalker. Pop, 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 pop. Dead. You never got there. Peak physique, you see Stalker. Huh, Stalker is turned into small chunks of paste because heavy machine gun said no Stalker. Stalker, no stalking. So heavy machine gun literally got in its face and said, get out of here, Stalker. Peak physique, fantastic. I love it. This is my favorite armor in the whole game. It's also woodland themed. And the Hell Pods, it doesn't matter, Undergrowth is basically their fancy way of saying Tiger Stripe. And everyone loves Tiger Stripe. Personally, my second favorite camo of all time, Tiger Stripe. Woodland being my favorite. This helmet's fine. The red beret's fine. I like the brown one with the eyepiece. Welcome adoration. Of course, the Liberator Carbine. The Liberator, chopped down with a significantly faster rate of fire. Before weapon customization, this thing would be shooting all up over your reticule, but now that you got the vertical foregrips and you can throw drum mags on there, this thing absolutely shreds for light armor. It will save your life. It kills stalkers quick. It kills all sorts of nasty bugs quick. Love it. Fantastic. On the second page, you have the Bushwhacker, the shotgun that will kill like one stalker if you fire like all three at the same time. But otherwise, it's fine. Very close range, very sawed off. Good at a pinch as a holdout, but you can get yourself in some trouble. Of course, the heavy armor with a built-in knife you can't use, unfortunately. It'd be cool if you could melee with the knife, but you can't. But you do extra melee damage, and you are absolutely corn-fed. This is straight out of, like, middle America, freaking, I'm joining the Marine Corps, and I don't need martial arts, I will punch my way through everything. And he does. That actually reminds me of my good buddy, I know like several Johns. One of the Johns, if he's watching the video, he knows this is dedicated to him, is literally built like this. Incredible. Cool little snow speeder helmet too. And then last page, experimental infusion. The last of the 4 key like necessary boosters to bring. Make sure stims put a little like scraping, scratching in your ears as you go like insane, and it gives you a crazy health boost and speed boost and everything. And of course, with more vehicle camo and exosuit camo. And the throwing knives. These look really cool. They are a pain to use. They don't explode. Medium pen, 250 damage. Sounds good on paper. Insane drop off. And I was actually getting pretty good with them at one point, to the point where I was like, yeah, I was landing headshot after headshot after headshot. And you get 20. That's a lot of throwing knives. And yeah, they're you'll generally get more mileage out of grenades, but if you're trying to learn the stealth, these can go a pretty long way. Otherwise, they're just cool looking and they're fun. So with that, Viper Commandos is high in the A. Not the highest, but very high in the A class. So, moving on. Freedom's Flame. As a former professional pyromancer, this is a pretty fantastic warbond. Let's talk about why. First off, the cookout. Take your shotgun and give it white phosphorus rounds. It'll set everything on fire. And for whatever reason, the pump action, but not the full auto ones, the pump action will stagger. So if you see a stalker in front of you, we hit him with one of these. He's on fire. He can't retreat because he's on fire. He can try, but he's going to die. He can't go back to stealth because he's actively burning, and it really solves your stalker fodder bug problem. And you can set the larger bugs on fire with like 2 or 3 shots. Pretty fantastic. The armor itself, 75% damage resistance to fire. Rest assured in your inflammability. There's a Simpsons reference in there. Inflammable and flammable mean the same thing? But this pairs very nicely with the double-edged sickle, which sets you on fire. Pairs very nice with flame weapons. And if you're just, if you have in the incendiary core, all fire weapons, this will help keep you alive. Pretty legit. The torture. The normal flamethrower is a bit heavy. With peak physique, it's not as noticeable, but it is chunky, and it takes up a support weapon slot. I hit the wrong button. With that in mind, you bring the torture. Now you have a primary weapon that doesn't shoot as far, still hits really hard, and can set the ground on fire, set everything on fire. No optics, definitely a point-and-shoot kind of operation. But legit fantastic. The crisper is a good sidearm to bring on occasion when you're fighting like voteless and stuff, and you just want to set the ground on fire, set a swath of land on fire, and get out of there. One-handed, works with shields and everything. You can pretty much... yeah, just throw fire everywhere. 30 rounds in the tank? Yeah, 30 rounds, which is decent. It fires longer than you would think it would. So it's pretty cool. Of course, firebomb hell pods. Kind of a meme build. If you bring it along and no one's expecting it, they're dropping their supplies right next to them, it could potentially kill them and they'll be a little salty. But it is pretty funny. So with that... we have Firebomb Hellpods on the Freedom Flame. They're around the middle of the A tier. They're pretty good. Cookout's really good. I like it. But we got more to cover. Chemical Agents. This is the Warbond that I didn't think I would like as much from the get-go. Why are you facing... oh, because you're showing off the cape. Alright. You got the cool skull helmet, which is absolutely peak. Gas grenades. When it came to like the predator strain or even just voteless, one of the easiest ways to solve your problem is to just drop a gas grenade and run. It'll disorient them, it'll make them attack each other, and voteless will die from the gas exposure. Other things will eventually get over it, but they could also hit each other and do full damage. Get that doom infighting sort of going on. Top tier, one of my favorite grenades right next to the dynamite. Incredible. It's worth taking this Warbond just for the gas grenades because they will get you out of a pickle. The enemy will get blinded, they'll attack each other, and by the time they can see again, whoever's left will no longer have any idea where you went. Armor passive is gas resistance, 80%. It's fine, but I generally just don't hang out in the gas. Gas is the only thing you can dunk on a Helldiver, and as long as they stim in time, they'll generally survive, as opposed to fire or electricity, which kills instantly. We gotta talk about the sterilizer. Alright. It should leave a cloud behind, but as it is, you just kind of spray stuff down and you let it do its thing. It doesn't leave any gas, and it's a support weapon. It just... It needs love. It seriously needs love if it's ever going to be viable. No one takes it, ever. Because it's just not as good. Flamethrower is better in every capacity. Finally got the stim pistol. The stim pistol, it's good if you're keeping someone with a fireproof armor and a double-edged sickle alive. It's a bit of a pain to aim. It shoots everywhere, no lock-on, and it's got the Permacura design on the side with the Infinity 8 see, so it's fine. It's not a sidearm I'm going to use too often. I tried using it to shoot SEF personnel and stuff with, and it has no impact. Now the guard's dog breath. The sterilizer, but now it's in a backpack, so you can actually focus on killing things. Well, it distracts them. Initially, it was spraying down one unit until it died, which was lame, but they made it put the status effect and then move on to the next target. And it will go out to about 50 meters to make that happen. So, between the gas grenade and this, I had to rank it a lot higher than I originally planned. Also, you got yellow armor. So with that, Chemical Agents is in the top of the A tier. just because of how much work it does against predator strains, bugs, and bugs. Less effective on bots, but you can get them to infight a little bit. But still, you know, it's Viper Commandos is right behind it. That's how highly esteemed this Warbond is. I love it. Fantastic. Truth Enforcers. Truth Enforcers is very, very much Star Wars Imperial inspired. Like, just look at it. You got the Halt Shotgun, which a lot of people love. People will bet their life on this shotgun. And I personally make a lot of people say I hate it. The stun doesn't do that much unless you have like a teammate who can kill him. And the actual medium pen, harder hitting part, slugs, just, or fletchets or whatever, they just... You got 2 tubes. Each one holds 8 rounds. And you have to manually switch between the two. It just takes too long. I can't do it. People love it. I ain't one of those people, to be honest. These are also kind of dripped out in conspicuous black. On the second page, you got the Bloodhound, which has unflinching. Oh, they buffed it. I forgot that. Oh, so you got markers, generate. Okay, so this got buffed. I didn't see this. Unflinching was pretty good. People didn't understand it because they get shot and they throw off the ray and they're like, I flinched. It's not that unflinching. When things are exploding, you notice your screen jumps around and goes all crazy. Sometimes there's enough explosions it does a 360. This prevents that. You are locked in. You can have 500 kg bombs, hell bombs, everything going off, and your screen is not going to move, which makes it very easy to keep your shots on point. Higher armor rating, 125. It's a little bit higher than medium, so you get a bit more armor. A little bit harder to kill. And it's in this really cool glossy red that I think looks pretty legit. Definitely Star Wars themed. The best gun out of the whole Warbonds is the Reprimand. Obviously, I'm 45 inspired. You get a vertical grip on there. It's only got 25 rounds, but it's 25 rounds of medium pen. Two-handed. Only submachine gun to be two-handed. But it will absolutely slap the bots into oblivion. So it's pretty fantastic. The Loyalist, little plasma pistol. Like I said, I don't really care for plasma, but it works like the Purifier in a plasma form. So you can get that charged up big shot, or you can get off 7 quick shots of less damage. Medium pen. If I had to take a plasma weapon, it would be this one. Just because it's easier to use and out of the way. Of course, you got the light armor inspector. Cool. It looks too much like a Naruto headband for me. I can't take it seriously. But everything else is pretty peak. That little side chest piece, legit. Love it. So with that, Truth Enforces is sadly in a C. The Reprimand is good, but it can't save the Warbond. It isn't the lowest, though. I do like it, just not as much. I would buy a lot of other things before I'm picking up that Reprimand. Let's put it that way. Up next, Urban Legends. I picked up this Warbond pretty early, too. Look at that stun lance. Melee. I love melee in the not melee game. So what do we got? Directional shield. Looks pretty cool. It's fine for covering your team. But for the most part, you're not going to use it because you'll just get ragdolled and messed up. The Street Scout is considered one of the best armor passes of all time. Faster reload, more ammo, 20%. Stun Lance, great for killing, well, pretty much everything. As long as you can stab it, you can kill it. And it gets stunned. So Overseers, when you got your shield up, they hit your shield, you stun them, and then you just beat them down. You can do it with the stun baton too, but a lot closer. And I like the axe. The combat hatchet is my favorite, but it doesn't stun, and you kind of get into a bit of a dragged out war. Second page, you got the Flame Sentry. Sets everything on fire. Very fast servo turning. I already love fire, so I already love this. This is fantastic. It tends to blow up into flames often, because they tend to get to it pretty quick, because the fire is damage over time. But when they do blow it up, then there's just more fire on the ground. Another problem for them to contend with. Armed resupply pods, fantastic. You get a little medium pen machine gun on top of the resupply pods. They acts as a mini sentry. Roadblock, heavy armor, more super credits. Last page, the anti-tank emplacement. An absolute... If the artillery is the king of battle, in the future, this is about as close as you're going to get. because this thing will mess up. If you get a good high point and good cover from your team, you can get a nice hill on a bot mission and you could blow up every fabricator they have. Bots or bugs sending in tons of bile titans, blow them all up. Impalers, blow them all up. Anything and everything, if you got line of sight on it, you can kill it. And they also used to bring down warp ships really easy. So warp ships, the bot drop ships, you can mess up everything. One of the best manned sentries you can get. And of course you got the this is democracy kick. If you want to kick a bot off a wall or something, it's great. Usually it's just used for kicking your teammate and kicking stuff on your ship because it's funny. With that, it's easily third in the S tier. Incredible. Just absolutely amazing. Actually, you know what? If I bump these up, I'll feel better about it. Chemical Agents is practically an S tier with the gas, now that I think about it. We'll make it low S tier. So Viper Commandos can be first in A tier. I can't justify making them S tier as much as I want to. I wish I could, but I can't. So, with all that in mind, what's up next, you ask? Servants of Freedom. This was a real game changer when it came out. And not because everyone looks like they came straight out of Blasphemous with those crazy helmet designs. The armor, the Martyr. Integrated explosives. 1.5 seconds after you die, you explode. Oh, and you get more throwables. This got buffed too. I didn't see the patch notes on this. You get more throwables, which makes sense. You got explosives on you anyway. You might as well be able to throw a few more. That's pretty legit. So this is kind of like the opposite of the upcoming Warbond that gives you a second wind. This one blows you up instead and kills everything around you in a small radius, to include your team if you're all in the same FRV or something stupid. Incredible armor design. The Kevlar gloves, the brown pants, the green shirt with the undersleeves, the beefy metallic chest plate just looks good. It just looks good. It looks like you're going to go into the mall to buy stuff, but people are going to question your choice in vest. The double-edged sickle. We mentioned the fire armor, we mentioned the stim pistol. This is the gun. The heat sink isn't on the gun because the heat sink is you. And the better you can tolerate the heat, you can fire this like crazy. Light, medium, and heavy armor pen. When it's setting you on fire and doing crazy damage, it will shred through all forms of heavy armor like a heavy machine gun. But with lasers. You don't need to reload it because you're the heat sink. So this has effectively infinite ammo if you have infinite health. It's an absolutely insane gun for insane players. Page 2, the Righteous, different type of armor, a little bit more leathery. Gloves are a bit butchery, not as cool. Kind of looks like an explosive collar, I think it's designed to. The Ultimatum. When you need a secondary that will take out all of the heavies for you, this is who you call. It used to even blow up the freaking stratagem jammers. Insane. Basically based on a Piat design. Doesn't shoot very far. Insanely dangerous. Basically an orbital precision strike at your fingertips. You only get 2 shots. So I've gotten very, very far in life with that as a sidearm. I'll say that much. Third page, Seeker Grenades. You can throw these and they will occasionally chase down stuff. They will get you between 30 kills and 1 kill. And they'll also float around if there's no targets. Portable Hell Bomb. It's best to drop it. You got 10 seconds after you arm it with the backpack key, 5 on a keyboard. And yeah, big old Hell Bomb explosion. Good to arm, drop off somewhere that you would need a Hell Bomb, like a stratagem jammer. Leave it on the ground. Don't be like that guy. Drop it. Don't just run in with it unless you know you're not getting out of whatever situation you're in alive. Pairs very nicely with the Democracy Protects armor, which gives you a 50% chance not to die. The whole hell bomb blows up, everything around you dies, and you are the sole survivor. Which is pretty peak when it works. Otherwise you just die and you're like, well, what was the point? Raise weapon. Yay. Fun when you're running around. You want to shoot in the air and stuff. So naturally, Servants of Freedom, second place in the S tier. Hard to beat. Would be the second Warbond I'd buy just to have more firepower. So, up next, Borderline Justice. Justice at the borderline. So naturally, you've got the Red Rider, called the Deadeye in this game for some reason. Has the coolest 4x combat scope imaginable. This is like the Senator. You need to be able to aim. You need to land those headshots if this is going to get you anywhere. It does do medium armor pen, but don't rely on it too much. You want to be able to land your shots. Looks really cool. 300 damage per shot, more than the Senator, but medium armor pen. It will one-shot Overseers if you can land the headshot. And it takes a few rounds, but you can bring down the flesh mobs and everything else. And you can bring down the interceptors. It'll punch through most bugs, although you don't get a lot of ammo. Very aggressive predator strains will still get right up on you and ruin your face. But if you can land the shots, if you can master it, it will pay off. Of course, the Frontier Marshal, Gunslinger, faster with reloads on sidearms like the Senator. Faster draw and holster speed, 50%. Sidearm recoil down by 70. So the Senator pairs very nicely with it. It's also got another knife you can't use. Page 2, you get the Talon. Personally, one of my favorite sidearms. Practically no recoil. Medium pen, shoots very fast. You can have 6 shots. 7, it will overheat it if it fired too quick, but oh my god. 200 points of damage, same as the Senator. Very, very punchy, impactful. I love it. Hard to land headshots on the Overseers. Of course, you got this cool helmet over here. One of the few blue capes. And yeah, you got the hover pack. Between the hover pack and the jump pack is good, better if you're like just going around and stuff. But if you want to get up in the air, especially with a grenade launcher and just rain down death, incredible. Dynamite grenades. Lots of people hate these. I love them. You can set a timer. 5 seconds, 15 seconds, or 60 seconds. If you do 60 seconds and you're sneaking around, you can run through a bot base, dunk one in every freaking fabricator, and get out of there. Unnoticed if you're good. Some of them will notice the grenade fuse lighting, but you can get a lot done with thermite. I like to throw the 60-second one at extract, about 30 seconds before the Pelican lands, and you'll probably like blow one of your teammates away. It's usually pretty funny. Do that with friends. Don't do that with randoms. And you can actually see the countdown on the screen here. And it's dynamite. What's not to love? Very cowboy themed. Love it. 700 damage. Very big explosion. Biggest explosion of all of the grenades, which is why I use it. It clears out fodder and lots of stuff very, very well. A sample extractor, not that exciting. So this one gets a very middle of the road A. I love all the guns in it, but I like Masters of Ceremony just a little bit more, I'd say. And these are really close. Like, this could go either way. Could go either way. I'm gonna move it there. We'll see what happens. Up next, Masters of Ceremony. Speak of the devil. Right before the Battle of Super Earth, we got a very themed. You got the freaking parade armor, which used to just have the epaulets, which made your 50% chance to avoid grievous injury. Wasn't that exciting compared to more limb health, so they added faster reload speed, and they increased your melee by 50%. So it doesn't hit as hard as peak physique, but you can hit pretty hard, which is good, because one of the weapons is the one true flag. We'll get to that momentarily. The R2 Amendment is a rifle many people continue to sleep on for some reason. Stylish. It has a bayonet. I like my melee damage. 20 rounds of light pen, but if you can land headshots on bots where it counts, it'll do work. It'll destroy Overseers. You can stab your way through Voteless. It does a lot. You can even ignore the fact it's got that fixed old school rifle stock on it. That's kind of silly. Very much styled after an FG42, but without the pistol grip. Bayonet. We need bayonets on all the guns. That's my personal opinion. I think this also has a combat scope on it. I think it has a combat scope. One of them does. I don't remember. It's fantastic is the key takeaway. Get the Federation's Embrace. Blue and gold flag. Peak. This guy gets a hat. That's kind of exciting. This is the light armor. The light armor is red instead of blue. I think the blue looks a bit better, but they're dripped out. You get the saber. Again, I love melee. I think the hatchet is a bit more brutal, and the saber tends to cut Voteless in half, whereas the hatchet tends to outright murder them. Still pretty fantastic. And of course, the one true flag. If you want to arguably waste a stratagem slot, but be insanely patriotic, this works much like the stun lance, Except the stun lance is a secondary. This is a support weapon. You can plant it. You can stab with it. It does stun. Some people said it was like the stun lance without the stun, but no, it still stuns. And since it's one-handed, you can pair it with the ballistic shield and phalanx your way to victory. Sample scanner, it's fine. The pyrotech grenades, you get 6. 2 more than usual. They spin around, they cause fire, but if you need to blow up a bunch of bug holes, having those 2 extra grenades goes a long way. They also set the ground on fire, not as reliably as impacts, but they get the job done. The fire damage is also pretty cracked, so you can really get stuff done. With that, this is easily just behind borderline justice. It's pretty peak. I don't use the armors, although I like them, but the main rifle and the super flag, they do it for me. It was just so good. Yeah, and get your friends to salute. If you have the flag, people are more inclined to follow you too. One of the other tips, if you want to get people to follow you to bunkers and stuff, and they don't know about bunkers or don't care, bring an FRV. Everyone wants to ride in the fast recon vehicle, but almost no one wants to bring it with them. So if you bring the FRV, they're likely to jump in. Then you sneak them over there, and they go, "Ha, open the bunker for me." And they'll be like, "Ah, you tricked me." You open the bunker, you get like 3 sets of super samples or whatever. You jump back in the car, and then you're kind of morally obligated to take them wherever they may wish to go. So don't forget that part. It's pretty important. Finally, Force of Law. The newest Warbond until the new one comes out in like 5 days. You've got the Pacifier, very AR styled, the second not bullpup primary after the Adjudicator. Only 50 damage isn't a lot. 40 rounds is pretty decent. It is medium pen, and the rounds do stun. It does take several rounds to get a stun, but they do stun. It also has... It looks like it has a lot of recoil. It's generally a lot less once you start beefing it up. Obviously like a short stroke piston side pull thing, but yeah. Not a lot of recoil. It doesn't hit as hard, but you'll punch through lots of medium armor. It takes like 2 mags to bring down a Stingray, but it works. It doesn't feel like it's doing a lot of damage, but you can't put it down because it's a laser. All the bullets are going in almost in the exact same spot. It's very easy to use, and that makes it pretty user-friendly in my opinion. I think it's a pretty solid choice. With that though, the armor, ballistic padding, a little bit chest damage resistance, explosive resistance, and you won't die from bleeding out. Pretty cool. De-escalator is a little odd. Like, it's a really good gun, but only when you're in like a team of 4. For some reason, when you're in a team of 4, the arc damage goes like insane and it kills everything. When you're solo, it doesn't seem to murder as much as it does just stun. Kind of weird. Stun pods, they're alright. Jackboot, lighter armor. I think that's the light one. Yeah, that's the light one. I like that one. Pretty cool. The gold belt buckle is legit, by the way. Last page, you got the urchin. Looks cool. Looks like a big old mace. It's on the last page. Should be one of the coolest things. It needs love. You throw it on like flesh mobs and it has no foreseeable impact. Throw it on a lot of things and they generally just like ignore the stun and keep going after you. Also a pain to land. However, the K9. This thing shoots way harder than the arc thrower. It arcs through everything. This will get you 57 voteless kills immediately. But it also doesn't like your team. It's very, very likely to kill your team. So if your team's around, you generally want to backpack it. Stow it away. I've had people run in front of me while I was shooting, and when they got zapped, they kicked me from the game. So it doesn't matter how right you are, you will generally get kicked. However, if you're solo or your team has a functioning what's the term I'm looking for? Freaking cognitive, operative, cerebral cortex intact. They'll stay away from you when you got this doing its work, and they'll only come around you if you're willing to put it away. With that said, the K9 is a pretty hard carry. However, it's still a B. Much as I love the K9 and the pacifier, it's not one of the warbonds I'm gonna buy first. I'll put it that way. Pretty good for beginners, but be very careful with the K9. And that's it. This is the complete list. I did move it around a little bit, but if you're trying to figure out what you want to buy next, what you should buy first, and for all the Xbox players who are coming along, I welcome you all. Best of luck. I look forward to dropping with you. And yeah, this is pretty much the order I would buy everything in if I had to start from scratch, level 1, as a brand new green Helldiver. So hopefully this video has been helpful. This is my third attempt to film it, and no one's run into my room and been screaming and kicking stuff over. My kids like to do that a lot. So feel free to argue with my decision down below. You will be wrong, but I mean it's your right to argue with my choices. But that is ultimately all I have for you guys. So hopefully this video is helpful to all the new Helldivers, veteran Helldivers, anyone who hasn't bought all the stuff in the Superstore yet. We do look at the Superstore real quick. Of course, there's the other thing you'll spend your super credits on is all this stuff. You got the draw, pretty cool, but that's the only thing worth buying here. You're generally going to want to buy all your stuff out of the Warbonds first. Cool helmet, you might want that. As far as this goes, that's a cool fire resistant armor because it's got the blue trench coat. I would absolutely buy at least this, but both of these because it's peak Viper Commandos. This is the only headgear I wear for the most part. If you like old school vaporwave paper cups, you'll probably end up with that armor. That's kind of silly. That looks legit. Cool looking helmet, funky looking Titanfall pilot helmet, blast face sleepy mask helmet, cool looking armor, weird sort of shell helmet, cool purple white armor that you can get very drippy with, fortified commando, practically the only armor that goes up to 200. Seath infantry has 200 despite wearing significantly thinner armor, but they're AI, so they need the help. Looks cool though. Very I think a Call of Duty freaking what is it, the Juggernaut armor. Worth picking up in my opinion. Light gunner, same extra padding, 100 for a light armor. Good for beginners, ballistic looking helmet stuff. Cool, weird, funky visor, big nose helmet. Shiny silver and purple armor. People love this. Can't get enough of it. And yeah, this last Helldivers Mobilize funky setup. So, hopefully that will make your lives a bit easier for deciding what you want. I got the rifle right there on me with the Senator. I was riding the Talon. I switched to the Senator. I haven't used it in a minute. So, hopefully that is all helpful to you. And feel free to tell me if you would have swapped any of these around in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully this helps you. I look forward to diving with all of you. I'm usually live on Twitch. Always got my videos up on YouTube. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on the ground for Super Earth. So with that, cheers everyone. Stay chivalrous, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Bye-bye.